Hi, I'm Angela Doggett, and welcome to Living in One Piece. I'm a speaker, author, certified health and lifestyle coach. I'm an advocate for women to help them create a new normal through the beauty of balance. And today I'm sharing another chapter to my story. I've had many women ask, how do you know, Angie, that you have forgiven and moved on? And I wish I could give you a clear-cut answer for your journey and for you personally, but it's not one size fits all. I can't tell you that this is what's going to happen and this is what you have to do to ensure that you have reached the place of forgiveness. I think each of us have our own personal journey, our own path that we have to walk, we have to go through, we have to experience and feel that gut-wrenching pain in order to know in that moment of complete and total forgiveness is living in us. I know many times I thought I had gotten to that place. I thought, oh, I've forgiven, I've moved on, I'm this, I'm that. Look, if I said that one time, I must have said it 100 times because I did in that moment think that I had forgiven, I had moved on, I'm over this, I am done with this. I have said that so many times till I'm blue in the face. But, you know, I think the moment I realized I had reached forgiveness was when I could be reminded of things that happened. Because you gotta understand something. In my situation, there were things that happened that I blacked out over. I buried them, I guess, in my subconscious so that, because they were so painful, I didn't want to think about them, so I forgot they happened. And it wasn't until years later that I realized, oh, wait a minute, somebody said something or did something that reminded me, oh my goodness, I remember this happened. I can't believe I forgot about that. Wow. And then I would take a moment, I would pause, and I'd realize, but I'm okay with it. I'm good, because if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be doing what I am today. You see, I was set up. I was set up. And you might ask, well, were you set up by your ex? Well, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I can't say that I was. I have no proof of that. But what I do know is there were some circumstances and there were some things in my past that appeared to be that way. It appeared that I was on my way out before I knew I was on my way out. I was removed from the board. I was removed 2 years prior to my separation ever happening. The keys were changed on all the locks of the business that we owned together, and I was never told until I tried to escort some of the leadership into a dining room for an after-service meal, and my key didn't work, and my code to the key locks didn't work. And at the time, I didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh, well, you know, whatever. And then the person that was our right-hand couple at the time said, oh, we forgot to give you a new key. Everything's been changed. We had to change it for security purposes. Well, I believed them, and so I went on about my business, only to find out months later that I was never given another key. I was never allowed access. Access denied. I was denied access on a lot of things right towards the end. And I didn't even think about it at the time, but in reflecting on the past, in retrospect, I realized, oh my goodness, maybe I was set up, but not in the way you think. You see, I don't believe I was set up from them or from that or from my past. I was set up by God. I was set up for my destiny. I was set up for my purpose. Angie, are you saying that divorce, you're okay with that, and God, he condones that, and he wanted to use you over here, so he, broke your marriage up? No, not at all. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is God can take something that he knows isn't going to turn out the way he intended it to turn out, and he can say, okay, you know what? Since man is not going to follow my plan, I'm going to remove, or I'm going to separate so that I can work on you both on different paths. So I can only speak from my journey and where I'm going and what I'm doing. And I know in my life that I was snatched out of some things. I was pulled apart. I was set apart. And I wasn't kicked out. I wasn't pushed away. No, that was God. Every step of the way, every single thing that happened to me, I can look back and say, man didn't do that. God did that. God allowed that to happen so that he could position me for what he wants to do in my life. Because I wouldn't have obeyed him back here. but I can obey in here. And see, and if those things hadn't happened back then, as bad and as twisted as some of the things I interpreted them to be unfolded in my life at that time, if it hadn't have been that way, if it hadn't have gone that way, I would not be sitting here today in my right mind. I fully believe I would have ended up in a mental institution because I was going down a wrong path. It just wasn't going well for me. And I couldn't see it then. I couldn't see the setup that was all around and what it all meant. But looking back, I can say it was a conspiracy theory. It was. And it was a conspiracy theory that came from God. And I am at peace with that, knowing that God set me up for my destiny. He set me up for what he has in store for me today, 2016, the year 2016. This has been the most amazing 5 months of my life since my divorce. This year has been an incredible journey just since January. If I began to tell you all the things, and I will over time, all the things that God is doing and working and unfolding at this season in my life, it would make your head spin. Because God set me up. He conspired for my success. And he's conspiring for your success. You're going through something right now, and you think man has put you in that position. You think man has set you up. Maybe man hasn't, maybe man has. But God can use circumstances and situations. Not can, he does. He uses those circumstances in your life to set you up for a miracle, to set you up to be blessed more than you've ever been blessed before. He said, I will that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. He wants to bless you with an overabundance of blessings, of everything you want and need. He not only wants to supply your needs, he wants to supply your wants. He even wants you to tell him what you want to happen in your life, the blessings that you want for yourself. He wants to give you those things, just like a parent wants to give their kids the desires of their heart. Don't give up. Look at your life and say, you know what? I'm not looking at man. This isn't, yeah, maybe it's a man setup, but God is using man to set me up for my next level, for my next miracle. It is a conspiracy theory, but it's a God conspiracy theory. And when God puts his hand on your situation, it all turns out for the better. All of it turns out for the better. So don't you give up. You keep trusting the process and keep going, because he's not finished with you yet. Get in on the conspiracy theory.